I'm going to link you up to a couple articles below on Moneybags World. I have a video that's a must-watch on Bloomberg where one analyst is telling a couple others on Bloomberg that the London vaults are virtually empty and that all the gold has made its way to China, never to return. And all they could talk about is how the bull run in gold is going to end. And the one talking about the empty vaults says, yeah, I agree that, it's going to end this year, the bull run in the price of gold. It's just totally laughable. I couldn't believe it when I watched it. The guy just got done told that all the gold is leaving, and then he's just like, okay, yeah, this bull run's ending, there's no demand and whatever. Oh my gosh, it's just so crazy. So I'm gonna link you guys up to that below. You got to see that. And then I'm also going to link you up to plata.com.mx, which is Hugo Salinas Price's website, the billionaire from Mexico who's been trying to monetize silver there for a couple decades. He came out just a few days before Christmas with a little note, scarcity of gold in Mexico, where he says he talked to his friend Mr. Calles at the Banco Azteca, the Aztec Bank, and that he's in contact with the Mexican Mint, and he informed Mr. Price that during the past couple weeks the Mexican Mint has not been selling the 1-ounce gold Libertad coins, nor the Centenario coins, which are the 1.2 ounces of gold, because they've run out of stock. The low price of gold's created an unusual demand on the part of the public. Wow, that's kind of hard to believe. I thought nobody wanted the barbaric relic. So anyhow, I'm going to link you up to that. Also, I'm going to post an article about after 1 year, the Bundesbank has now repatriated 37 tons of gold from the New York Fed and the Bank of France. 700 tons is what they want, and the New York Fed told them it'd be 7 years. So they've gotten a big 37 tons in the first year, so they better speed it up. Only 37 tons, while China's scooped up a couple thousand tons. It's just laughable what's going on. I mean, I don't know how much gold that they really have, and I believe we're going to reach that capitulation point. But who knows when. I'll be sitting on some real money when it does happen. Others can try and trade the metals, especially the ones who don't understand how the paper leveraged markets work, but that's fine. A lot of you know what's going on, and I know what's going on, and when things come down, it'll be nice to be sitting on some real money. So I also wanted to mention, I listened to an interview with Eric Sprott, and there was a quote that I wanted to tell you. He was being asked about the philosophy of his that it takes to be a billionaire, and it was a really interesting quote. I wanted to read that to you. But before I do that, I wanted to mention a couple weeks ago the Wall Street Journal had an article about how he was going to be taken away from making the primary decisions for his hedge fund, which is down about 50%. And the article doesn't really mention how well he did during the decade prior, when he was averaging like 26% annual returns for his clients. I mean, they have been down quite a bit the last couple of years, and it just, the Bloomberg video that I'm linking you to just kind of shows what he's up against. I mean, he's even people that can be told that, hey, the gold's all gone, and all they can talk about is how the price is done rising, and that it's just totally ridiculous. But he had that open letter to the World Gold Council where he showed a 5,000 ton demand for gold and only a supply of like 2,000 tons when you take out China and Russia's supply, which doesn't go to market. And then he says some of that, a lot of it's been being made up by ETF sales, which surprisingly, right when the Bundesbank in Germany wanted to repatriate their gold, coincidentally, the ETF started selling off 800-900 tons of gold. So that's really interesting there. But there's a lot going on, and I believe we're going to come to a point where the COMEX or the LBMA are not going to be able to make delivery. Just like the London gold pool collapsed when they tried to keep the gold from trading in the free market price. Back in 1968, you know, they lost control, and I believe that it's going to happen again. So it looks like they're losing control of the bond market. I saw a 3% interest rate today. Slowly, they're losing control there. But that could reverse. They could come out and take that $75 billion with the big $10 billion taper, come out and take that up to $125 billion and try and push down the rates again. So, you know, I don't know if rates are going to continue to rise, but it just looks like they're kind of losing control. And you know, things would really explode if what was going on with the gold and silver market was exposed. I mean, it's slowly being exposed more and more, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens, everybody. So anyhow, the quote I wanted to read you, you know, this is what I believe Eric Sprott is going to be right. And it's kind of hard to keep your clients invested with you under the pressure of a manipulated paper market, which can push down the price. But the data shows that it should be much higher. Demand for silver and gold is incredible around the world. I mean, I watched a video today by Raw Dog, and he's talking about he was mentioning supply, you know, there's plenty of silver and everything. It just doesn't make any sense that this price has been falling while India is importing 5,000 tons, 20% of the mined silver, where last year in 2012 was only 7% went into the country. I mean, how do you have a 13% flip-flop in demand in just one country and the price be driven down? Well, I know how, but it just doesn't make any sense. I know how it can happen, but it doesn't make any sense. So anyhow, let me give you this quote here. He says that you have to be a buyer when people are non-believers. Like right now, there's so much negativity in the gold and silver. I mean, I'm definitely a buyer now. I've been a buyer all along, not really much above $35 an ounce myself. But I've been cost averaging in for 4 years, and most of it was bought under $20. So that's me personally. But anyhow, he says that you have to believe in something based on the data that says you're right, when the world will tell you that you're wrong. Because when the world says you're wrong and you're right, you know that the return is going to be outsized because no one's there. So it's like buying gold stocks in 2000, which he says he did to a very large extent. The HUI index, a basket of gold stocks, was at 35, and it went all the way over 600, 1,700% return in 8 years. And that's because everyone was against it. And it was like a killing field for the investor to go in and buy things cheap, and I really believe it's kind of similar opportunity again today. So that's what Sprott said in a recent interview. And then when asked about the bottom line for people holding gold and silver, he said if you believe you're right and the data says hold your ground, you hold your ground. Normally there's a pretty big payday at the end. I mean, these are the types of thoughts and ideas that made him a billionaire. I mean, Rick Rule, who's with Sprott Asset Management, was interviewed also, saying that you have to have guts and you have to take chances. He knows 12 to 15 billionaires personally, and he says these guys, they had the guts and they took the chances. That's how they got to that level. So anyhow, I just wanted to point that out to you. I believe that Eric's going to be right, and I'm looking at some miners right now. I'm starting to look at the junior miners. I mean, I have a video that I could link you up. It's got some information on that. There's, I'll go ahead and put a link to the cartel Catch-22. I'll give you a link to that video as well. Since gold's peak in 2011, the TSX Venture Exchange, home to most of the gold exploration companies around the world, is down 60%. The GDX, the Gold Junior Index, is down 83%, and the large cap gold companies, despite a 400% increase in the price of gold the past 12 years, are trading at lower valuations than they did 20 years ago. I mean, these are the type of things that make me want to start looking at some junior miners. And while everyone's hating them, that's when I want to start taking little small positions. Now, I understand that if it's on paper, it's worth the paper it's printed on. I know that. I believe that, and I know it, but you know, I have my savings in physical metal, so I don't have a problem with playing around a little bit with the stock market. Now, if I was just strictly in stocks, you know, I wouldn't be very comfortable, but that's why I'm not in that position. That's a position like my father has, that I'm, you know, trying to have him take a real money position, and he has slowly been doing that. But I don't know, we're in some crazy times, everybody. I hope that you find some good information in this in these articles and videos that I'm going to share with you. So this went a little long, but I hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Talk to you all soon. Bye.